beautiful Greek island of Skiros. Hi there, Yassas, Kalispera, good afternoon. This is the hard to get to island of Skiros with a magnificent main town, Skiros town or Hora, sprawled across the hill there. I'm going to walk in that direction now. My hotel right over there. Just arrived yesterday, my first time to this island. I have been wanting to come here for a little while. So today is May 11th. You can see not exactly busy. The summer tourist season won't begin on a lot of the Greek islands for another month or so. It is currently 65 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 18 degrees Celsius. So right on the edge of cool-ish and warm. As soon as you step into the sun, then you warm up a bit. But it is better weather than yesterday when it was cloudy, it was rainy and very windy. Well, it's still windy today, but when I was on the island of Tinos just 2 days ago, then a guy had mentioned to me that there were going to be heavy winds and it could affect the ferries. Looks like wind effects right there. Or maybe not. No, it's all tied up. So maybe that is somebody's work. So it was a couple days before my ferry going from Tinos back to Rafina on the Greek mainland, and a guy says heavy winds coming. Now fortunately my ferry was the next day. That was not affected by the winds, but the next day I had my flight here from Athens International Airport, and it was very windy. I was concerned about whether it was going to be a problem getting over here. The flight was delayed a bit. About $100 for that flight. I will put the exact amount down below here. Direct flight, 45 minutes. So the flight was delayed a little bit. Finally, we got out there and into the air, and it was a bumpy, takeoff. And then they said that they weren't going to do the drink service because of the turbulence throughout the flight, and then it was a bumpy landing coming in, but it all worked out. Not so much for this guy. As I said, this island is a little hard to get to, so as I walk along, I am basically going to tell the story of finally arriving here on Skiros Island and what sort of led up to it, including my previous attempts to do so. So Skiros hadn't really been on my radar as far as Greek islands until I went to the islands of Skiathos, Skopelos, and Alonissos. I think that was 3 years ago, and in the course of researching those islands, then I also learned about Skiros here, and based on what I'd read about it, it sounded like the most interesting one. Okay, we have a dead end here. The question is it a dead end for pedestrians as well? I think that I'm going to give it a try. Gotta be a way to sneak through there somehow, maybe get over on the beach or something, we'll see. And so I took a ferry from Volos on the Greek mainland over to Skiathos, and then Skopelos, and then Alonissos. And I was considering coming to Skiros here, but I think that it was another 6 hours on the ferry. It was a long ferry journey, 4 hours, 6 hours, something like that, from Alonissos to get here. And then you have to get back. And so that's like a 10-hour ferry journey, something like that, from Skiros here back to Volos. There is another option, which is that you can go from Kimi on the island of Evia, which I visited just a little while ago. The beginning of my trip here to Greece this time. Then I rented a car at the Athens airport and drove to Evia Island. And I was considering coming to Skiros from there. Okay, looks like this will in fact go through for walkers. Interesting, we're going to get into a little bit of a jungle here, it looks like. So, where does this go? It must go through because this is a substantial walkway here. So, I was checking ferries from Kimi on the island of Evia. It is only an hour and a half ferry ride. Oh, some bad smells in here. I think there's a swamp ahead. So just an hour and a half on the ferry from Kimi over to here. So that's a lot more reasonable than 10 hours from Volos. Yes, we have a funky creek. Okay, so far so good. But when I was checking online for ferries, then it seemed that the ferry didn't go every day, for one thing, and then what I was seeing was ferries that were full up, as best as I could tell, figuring it out on ferries.gr and ferryhopper.com, two websites good for checking ferries and booking tickets as well. I never ended up going into a tourist office that can book the ferries for you. If you aren't finding it online, then it is worth checking with a ferry ticketing agency just to make sure, because that's how I ultimately got from Evia over to Andros Island. Was I went to a ferry office and there was another harbor nearby that I didn't know about, and so I wasn't searching for ferries leaving from there. But the websites can be useful in booking those ferries a lot of the time. So I scrapped the idea of getting to Skiros here by taking the ferry, but I discovered that there was an airport here. I hadn't known that, and there are direct flights from Athens and Thessaloniki. Those flights don't go every day, and so you want to strategize your time here and check the flight. So I have a flight in 3 days from now, so I have 4 nights total here, and then flying to Thessaloniki, and then from there we'll probably explore northern Greece. And so I booked this flight yesterday and take it and land, and then I was hoping to get a rental car at the airport and then just have the car for the whole 4 days, but no rental car agency at the airport. The airport is definitely one of the smallest airports I've ever been in. It's like teeny tiny. And so instead I got a taxi. Services here in general are limited. So there were just a few taxis there, and there were, you know, putting multiple people into the taxis. So I get in the front, and then two guys get in the back, and I end up talking with them. They live in Portugal, but they're sort of from other places. But they mentioned that in the course of their research, they were trying to go by ferry from Volos to, you know, Skopelos Skiathos, and then take the ferry here. But apparently that ferry is not running anymore. I don't know if it's just because it's too early in the season or what, but that might not be possible now. And so you want to check on that. And then coming on the ferry from Kimi is basically going to require you to have a rental car. If you're coming from Athens, then you have to get to Kimi somehow. Okay. Let's again go the dead end route. It does say right there, to the beach. So I don't know if there's buses going from Athens to Kimi, maybe so, but that would be a bit of a pain. And then you will have to deal with that going back as well. So point being, as of now, it looks like taking a flight is really the best way to get to Skiros. Looks like we're getting back to the beach. Okay. We have people. Nice. A full restaurant. I guess because I'm getting closer to the main town, unless maybe there's some sort of an event going on. Some nicely dressed ladies there. Maybe there's like a wedding happening or something. All right, so now I need to get up the mountain there. And so that is called Molos, where I'm staying. And then up there is where we're trying to get to. Will it go through here? All right, looking good. And so because I didn't get the rental car at the airport, then I decided, well, I think that I will just see what I can see today wandering around on foot. And then hope to rent a car tomorrow for 2 days and have it for 2 full days to properly explore the island. Also, the weather is getting better going forward. It should be even sunnier and warmer the next couple of days. So things are looking up. Okay, where does this go? I am deep in the maze now. Okay, I am heating up in this long sleeve shirt. Time to deal with that. That's much better. All right, let's get up the hill into Skiros town. Hola. And so now I'm on this main road. Looks like that might be a road going up there or some stairs. Let's find out. I guess this is the way. We have a barking dog to contend with. Unchained, uncaged. Let's check the map and make sure this is actually the right way. Hora? Hora? And here we go. I wonder if this is the main way or sort of a back route. This can't be the main way. If I hadn't asked that guy and he confirmed it, I would be thinking, oh, this isn't gonna work, but I guess it will. So the map had shown driving a different direction. So there is, of course, another way to get there by road. Okay, this is making more sense. That was just their driveway to that house, and then there's this little trail to get here. But obviously there is a more main way to get onto this path here that I didn't see, which is probably the other way on the road. And so I didn't come across it. What a sight! Up there, the castle. And here we have a museum. Archaeological Museum, Skiros. Today is a Saturday. Open from 8:30 to 3:30, so I guess it's open. Look at that, 1787. Wow, what is this? Very interesting. Cross. Relief with a depiction of two figures reclining on a couch. Funeral banquet. Inscribed stela dedicated by the Athenian woman Artemis. A real journey through history here. That kind of looks like it's somebody's apartment. I could hear music. Anyway, coming into the town. How many people will we see? That must have been some sort of event for that restaurant to be so packed when there's almost nobody around everywhere else. Okay, what have we got here? Little chapel, perhaps? Yeah, cross. To Rupert Brooke, 1887 to 1915. And immortal poetry, so I guess maybe a local poet. And we have a person. All right. I'm not completely alone here. And person number 2. I just smelled something that smelled very good. And 3 people over there. So, people are around and cooking up some lunch. Okay, so 7 people witnessed. But where is the main square? I might have missed the main square. Looks like this must be the castle entrance and the door's open, so all right. Wow. Very interesting. 18, looks like 95. And here we go. Castro. Wow, this is a really cool tunnel entrance. All right, more of the town. So I would definitely say that the area where I'm staying, Molos, is the best place to stay, especially when summer rolls around and it's warm enough you actually want to take a swim. If you're here in the village, then you have a long and intense hike getting down to the beach and especially coming back up. All right. So how old is this? That looks Byzantine era to me. Let's see what this sign says. Skiros Castle Town had an uninterrupted presence from the prehistoric times until the beginning of the 20th century. During the prehistoric period, so I'm not exactly sure what they mean by prehistoric in this case. I guess, as I mentioned in the last video, literally prehistoric would be like at least, 6, 7, 8,000 years ago and before that, before like Sumerian civilization. But maybe they mean kind of well-known Greek historic, something like that. So, before 2,500 years ago, 3,000 years ago, something like that. So during the prehistoric period, it had probably been the only place of residence of the today Hora of Skiros. The increasement of the population during the historic and medieval times led to its presence as the Acropolis. During the classical period, so classical period of Greece being, 4th, 5th century BC, and probably just before the explosion of the Peloponnesian War. I'm not sure when that is, but I will put a subtitle down below. When was the Peloponnesian War? Athenians fortified all the settlement with the external wall and its Acropolis with a second wall. During the Byzantine, Frankish, Venetian, and Ottoman periods, so those are all separate periods, Skiros castle town was in its most intense phase. During the late Ottoman times, the castle functioned occasionally as shelter in case of emergency, and families used to retain a second household inside the fortification. After the Greek Revolution and the foundation of the Greek state, the place was abandoned. In 1827, the last bishop of Skiros, Gregorios, who had been the last inhabitant of the castle town, died. I think this must be Byzantine era. The oldest known Christian monument in Skiros, according to the dedicatory inscription, it was founded in 895 AD, during the reign of the Byzantine Emperor Leo VI the Wise. This church served as the seat of the bishop of the island from 895 to 1837, the year the last bishop of Skiros, Gregory, died. So yes, Byzantine era, the style of construction is just classic Byzantine style. The altar. Clearly there were very colorful frescoes here, not much left of it. Very interesting altar though. Looks like that is a scabbard and a hand holding a sword there. And then I can see two hands there, a body, head is missing. There was something about the frescoes here. Let's read that. The frescoes. In the inside, the church preserves fragments of frescoes from different periods, among which the oldest is located in the Prothesis and can be dated with certainty in the 11th to 12th century. There are also remains of the original sculptured decorations of the monument. So, 1,000-year-old paintings there. Holy moly! It might be windier today than yesterday even. A little chapel. Okay, and what is this? Like the watchtower? The medieval cistern, dark prison. Now, cistern means a water tank. The dark prison, as it is called locally, is the largest cistern among the three that remain in the castle of Skiros. The other two are located on the east and west part of the castle. It is a robust construction with horizontal dimensions and a maximum height of 7 meters. Okay, that's like 24 feet or something. So it must go down that much from there. All right, let's see what it looks like inside. Very curious. Whoa. Okay. No, that's not a deep hole. Okay, this collects rainwater. I wonder if the prison reference was literal. Maybe it was also used as a prison. You can easily imagine it as a prison. Okay, so this is right below the hole. So is that something that was like created as a result of the rain falling in? I don't think so. It looks like it's intentionally dug out, but obviously the point was the water, rainwater comes in and falls here, and then, but there's a big door, so it can't fill up all the way. So is it actually just a prison? A little confused on that one. Huh. All right, well, I think that is basically going to do it for today's exploring. Just keep it a little bit simple for today. And then in the next 2 days, lots more of the island to see. Is there going to be a rental car company here at all? I wonder if I'm just going to have to like take a taxi somewhere. I think there must be a rental car agency. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. So there you go. The first day on the little known but very, very interesting island of Skiros. Looking forward to seeing more. Have a good one. Safe travels. And one more thing, looks like that is the main square. I didn't show any of that part of the town, so I will plan to show it in another video.